Hey, what's going on? My name is George, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the compound effect, which I think is the foundation for a winning mindset for business and for life in general. So the compound effect. I'm sure a lot of you heard about the compound interest and how if you invest $10,000 into the stock market and it grows at 10% for 50 years, you're going to end up being a millionaire with 1.2 million or something like that. And so that's how compounding works. It's like an exponential curve, and that's the compound effect. But most people don't realize that this applies not just to money and business. You can compound everything. And the compound effect is in everything in our lives. Let me elaborate a little bit more on that. So basically the compound effect is small actions that you do consistently over a long period of time make a radical difference. And this applies to everything: income, health, relationship, happiness, success. It's all about making small choices every day consistently, and over time that makes a radical difference. That's how compound interest works, right? The whole thing about compound interest is that it's over 50 years, so it's over a long period of time. It's small gains over a long period of time that compounds to massive results. A good example of this is a person who is overweight and who's trying to lose weight. As a New Year's resolution, he decides that he's going to go to the gym 3 times per week. He's going to completely change his diet. He's going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, exercise after work, and he's just gonna go 100% at it. What do you think is going to happen? That person is going to fail. It's just not going to work out. But if that person said, all right, from now on, I'm only going to be drinking water. Okay, I'm not going to be drinking calories, I'm only going to be drinking water. That's it. That's a small choice. It's very manageable and it's very achievable. And it's important that you pick small choices because that's what compound effect is all about. Because you need to be consistent. And so those small choices also need to be consistent. And coming back to that example of an overweight person, how do you think he's going to be consistent if overnight he decides to completely change his life? Go to the gym 3 times, eat healthy. It just won't work. But if instead he just makes a small decision and says, okay, from now on, no sugary drinks, only water, that is very manageable. That's a small choice that he can do consistently throughout his life. So if you set a small goal, for example, only drinking water and not drinking any sugary drinks, then over time, that is going to compound to massive results and your health is going to improve and you're going to actually feel better. And now obviously not drinking sugary drinks and only drinking water is not going to make you super slim, super athletic. You won't be able to run a marathon right away. But that is a small choice that is very manageable, very achievable, and that's going to have a massive result only if you make that small choice of drinking water every single day. So every single day, when you come across what to have for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast, you're going to say, I'm only going to have water. But most importantly, it would be a start. It's a small choice that you can do every single day consistently, and that's going to compound to massive results. Now that same person can set other compound effect goals. For example, he can say, every time I have a choice between a bag of chips or an apple, I'm going to go for the apple. As cliche as it sounds, but over time that small choice is going to make a radical difference. And now this is what compound effect is all about. Small choices every day consistently are going to make a radical difference. Now, a physical example of this, because compound effect is a real thing and it affects everything in our life. It's mathematically, it's physically, it's generally just for mindset and for success. A physical example of this is Grand Canyon. Now, if you don't know how Grand Canyon was formed, it was formed by millions of years of just water carving through. So there's a little stream, a little river going through the Grand Canyon, and that stream of water has been carving the rock consistently for millions of years. So if you zoomed into the daily basis of water just doing its thing, it seems insignificant. You think there is no way that just a little bit of water can create anything significant. But consistently over time, the water never stops. It is always flowing down and over millions of years it makes a radical difference, and it created the Grand Canyon, one of the great wonders of the world. That's a great example of the compound effect. On a daily basis, it seems insignificant, just like drinking only water. But over time, consistently, that is going to compound and is going to create a radical difference. So this is something you want to apply in your life. I'm going to give you another example from my personal life. I've started to go to the gym when I was 16 years old, and I always wanted to have a fit body. And when you start going to the gym, you don't see results after the first workouts. But I constantly went to the gym 3 to 4 times every single week, and I didn't skip it. I did see a little bit of results now and then, but nothing significant. I worked really hard and I was consistent because I knew that I wanted it, and I knew that if I waited a little bit, my time would come and I would have the body that I dreamt of. For 3 years, I went to the gym, I ate food, I was doing mistakes, I was learning from mistakes, I was watching YouTube videos, I was watching other bodybuilders, what they were saying, and I was trying to learn how my body responds to different stimuli. And the most important thing, that whatever I was doing, I did it consistently. I didn't stop. I didn't see results for over 2 years because I was doing a lot of mistakes. I wasn't training right. But deep down, I knew that if I just kept training and I kept learning, eventually I'm gonna get it. And all those consistent actions from before compounded into how my body looks now, which I'm really happy about. So all that hard work compounded, and that's the result of my body that I'm seeing today. And this is literally how my success with my body looks like. Over time, there was nothing, for a long time, nothing, and then over a sudden, boom, it just took off exponentially. And if you analyze anyone's success, that's what it looks like. And it's not that you're not making any progress here. You are making progress, but that's the compound effect. That's how it works. Progress is super slow and you can't tell, but it starts compounding, and that's when it goes exponential. That's the compound effect. So now I want to talk a little bit about how to apply the compound effect to your life, to e-commerce, and to dropshipping. You want to adopt small routines that you can do consistently. And consistency is key here. You need to pick routines small enough that you can keep up and do consistently. And never say, oh, I'm not gonna do that, I'm too lazy, I'm just gonna watch Netflix. So for example, you could say, I'm going to watch 1 course video every day, or I'm going to read 1 blog post about Facebook ads every day, or I'm going to read 15 pages of a good book every day. And these small, seemingly insignificant actions compound over a long period of time. And if you're working on your dropshipping business, you could say, I'm going to test 5 new audiences every day. Or you're going to say, I'm going to create 3 new ads every week. You just need to set realistic goals that are not too crazy and that you can be consistent with. And it's all about the consistency. Now, when you mix that consistency with time, that's when you get crazy results. And that's basically the compound effect. And I hope that makes sense. And so here's a quote from Will Smith that really explains this compound effect. So here's what he says. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, and do that every single day, and soon you have a wall. And I really like this quote. So most people, they focus on the end goal first. They don't focus on just starting brick by brick. So instead of just saying, I'm going to build this massive wall, and thinking about how you're going to build this massive wall and just focus on that specifically, and what you want to say instead is you want to say, all right, I'm just going to start. And every single day, I'm going to lay down a brick as well as I can, and over time, you are going to have a wall. And that's how it works, and that's how compound effect works. It's all about taking small actions consistently over a long period of time instead of just setting these unrealistic goals and then giving up. Small repeated actions over time equals to massive success. Before I end this video, I have a recommended book for you guys, and it's called The Slight Edge. This book is about the compound effect, and it changed my life. And I can safely say that ever since I read that book, I saw massive changes in my life for the better. And I would highly recommend it. And just generally, reading is good. It's good for the brain. It's good for opening up your creative mind. And so I would recommend you read this Slight Edge book. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it valuable. And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.